Okay, everyone, I am doing a webinar coring because I canceled the one that we were going to do at Blackfin, and that was going to be about scheduling. But like usual, when I work out, I get inspired when I work out, and I was told not to focus on that. We can do that some other time. I've talked about it before, and I think you all know you really need a calendar, and maybe I'll pull it out and show you mine. But it's my way. And that's kind of what got me thinking about doing another little coring. And this one's called My Way, Your Way, The Right Way, or The Way. And there's so many ways. And I remember when I was new, is that what I had on here? Right way, wrong way, the way, your way, whatever. When I was new, I was going crazy. Every seminar I went to, I wanted to do it the way of that leader. And you'll hear this all the time. Don't fall into that. Don't fall into being the trainer of the month or trying to be the trainer of the month. Jim Winkler does things very differently than Shelley Bow, who does things very different than our next speaker, Charlie Bear. Everybody has different strengths. Everybody has different weaknesses. Everybody has different personalities and things that they are better at and focus on. So the goal of these different speakers is for us to get what resonates with us and then own that in our own story, in our own journey. So how do you differentiate? And what are some of the things you're going to hear? Because I used to always be like, well, I thought you're supposed to do it this way, or I thought you're supposed to do that. So-and-so said this, so-and-so said that. I was all over the place. But through this process, if what I tell you today makes sense to you, you will develop as a leader, and your ability to lead will develop as well. And the main thing as a leader is to be yourself and impress upon your new owners to be themselves. And you respect their differences. You respect their strengths and their weaknesses, and find a way to work together within this same system. Because the basic five are the basic five, and that's actually what I've got some little notes here I'm going to go through, is if you're mastering the basic five the best way you can with your strengths and weaknesses, and everybody else does the same together, it's perfect. Okay? So, attitude and knowledge. Some people get their attitude and knowledge, their goals, their audios, and their reading a book, because these are things we must do, in the nooks and crannies of their life. They keep that stuff with them, and if they've got 5 minutes during the day, same with making phone calls and things. They'll make a few calls, they'll add a few names, they'll read their goals, they'll do things in the nooks and crannies. Other people, like me, have to have it scheduled. Otherwise, if I don't do that, I get stressed out. I feel like I'm never relaxing, like I'm always working. I feel like that anyway, but this gives me a little bit of control over my brain and my schedule, and we all know I need that. So I have it scheduled where I read my goals, and I watch a video in the morning, I read my goals, and I read at night. And that's how I get those three: attitude and knowledge. And then audios, I listen in the car. And sometimes I'll just put them on in the background. I'll put a video or an audio on when I'm doing stuff around the house and listen that way. But I'm not listening all the time. I like my Hallmark movie channel in the background sometimes when I'm working on the computer, because that kind of gives me peace of mind. Because when I listen to this personal development stuff, I feel challenged. So I need to give myself little snippets. You need to find whatever works for you. And who knows, it may be a combination. And here's the other thing, it will change. There may be a time in your life when you can fit it in the nooks and crannies, and then you start having kids, or you get a part-time job and your life is more structured and you find that you're not fitting it in. Well, maybe now you need to schedule those things in. But I want you to think about this. I really want you to think about your personality and if you're doing this stuff, because here's the bottom line: you have to do it. This is part of the 10 hours a week, that 90-day fast track checklist. You must read your goal statement morning and night. And you know darn well that if doing that for the next 2 to 3 years will make you a 6-figure income, it's not hard to do, and you could do it. If somebody said we're going to take your kids away if you don't read your goal statement morning and night, you'd read your goal statement morning and night. Or if they said we're going to take everything you own, you would do it. If they took something valuable, you would do it. So you can do it. You just got to figure out how to do it, because it must be done every day. Same with the audios. You have to listen to the audios. If you don't, the 45-year plan and society will suck you in. I'm telling you, we say you can put this business on the back burner, but you can't turn the burner off. And it's reading the goals, it's listening to your audios, it's watching the videos that keeps that burner on. It keeps you in the game so the 45-year plan and society doesn't suck you back in. Because it's powerful. It's what we've been programmed with. It's what we live with every day, the media, everything. And we have to make a living. So if you've got a job or you're doing something else to make a living, you're there 40 hours a week. That environment has a lot of influence on you. You have to fight that 45-year plan mentality, our society's mentality, with an entrepreneur's mentality, the 2 to 3 year plan mentality, how wealthy people think. And you do that with audios. Just a little bit of audio, a little influence every day is what's going to keep you in the game, and it's going to be what eventually will get you where you want to go. Because the more you do it, the more valuable it will become to you. It will become your drug. It will become when you'll recognize, oh, you know what? I'm feeling a little down. Well, I haven't listened to an audio. I haven't watched a video. I haven't read my goals for a while. You'll know when you're not doing it, but you have to do it every day. You must listen to audios or watch a video every day. And then reading. I usually fall asleep when I'm reading, but I read. And I read a lot when I'm on vacations, and it's usually, bubblegum stuff, but it keeps your brain engaged. If you're new and if you haven't read the career manual, I highly encourage you to start there. You would think it's boring. It's not. It's fascinating. It's JR's brain in writing. Much easier to read than watching his PowerPoints or listening to him. Trust me. It's enjoyable, and it gives you a lot of assurance that, oh my gosh, I'm in the right place. I'm in the right time. This is huge, and it's going to be even bigger. We are making history. And if you read that career manual, know that. Other things, Think and Grow Rich. Jim always has recommended books for the 90-Day Fast Track. It doesn't have to be that book. The Power of the Subconscious Mind. As a Man Thinketh. It's little, and it's an easy read. I should have these books so I can show you. I have them all. I'm telling you, I've got them all. Grant Cardone, network marketing books. Even though we're an evolved network marketing group, some of the principles apply. Some of that, we don't have to work the numbers that they talk about in there. I mean, if you do, you're really going to go far. But you've got to keep feeding your brain. And this attitude and knowledge is number one for a reason, because if you don't have the attitude and knowledge, nothing else matters. The other thing about this attitude and knowledge is GMTSS. Going to the events, non-negotiable. Those are your work days. I mean, honestly, if you think this is going to be your future, your retirement, your financial security, to invest in one Tuesday night a week, a training a quarter, well, like 2, because you have to go to New Distributor Basic 5, recommended per quarter, and 6 seminars a year, and then to Miami and Greensboro. We give so much more time to the 45-year plan and other things we're doing that just give us an instant paycheck that could be gone tomorrow. Yet we're not willing to invest time into developing ourselves and understanding the system. And those are required as well. And that's really where you get the belief. And I'm going to talk a little more about the GMTSS in a minute and how it plays into this. But let's, back to the other attitude and knowledge that we fit in daily. You have to do it. So here's what I'm going to say. Figure it out. It's your job. Figure it out. Figure out what works for you, but figure it out and do it. Our system gives you plenty of suggestions, plenty of ways to fit it in, and we express the importance of it. Now it's up to you to figure out what works for you so you do it every day. Goals. Again, different ways of doing it. Oh my gosh, and this is something I've struggled with for 17 years, and I finally figured out a way to do it. In the beginning, I didn't think it was important because my goal was just to get that checklist done. But you need to have something morning and night that inspires you, and it has to give you a good feeling. So I started with JR's way about what you want, when you want it, what you're going to do to get it, what you're going to overcome to do it, and blah, 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 whatever it is. That stressed me out. It was all about numbers, and some people like those. I like the daily checklist numbers. That doesn't get me stressed out, but the other one did, because a lot of it has to do with things that you have no control over, like what other people do, and you can only do your best. So and then there's other people who have these long 5-page things. It's blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting on my deck on the sunny beach of this, and 3 days later, they're finished reading their goal statement. All right, well, that stressed me out too, because I don't have time to sit and read 3 to 5 minutes or 3 to 5 pages every morning and evening about my own life. It would be like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And when it's long like that and it hasn't happened, my brain can't accept it as already true. So what you need in a goal statement is something that inspires you to do what you need to do that day, to accomplish what you need to accomplish. And whether that's getting rid of something that's painful to you, like a job or debt, financial pressures, or whether it's achieving something that makes you feel really, really good, like traveling or paying off a bill or moving or getting a new house or a new car, whatever's important to you. So I love Joe Girard's way of doing goals because it also incorporates gratefulness. And universal law tells you right off the bat that if you're grateful, you'll get more. If you're a giver, you'll get more. And which is why we all love this business, because if we help other people succeed, we succeed. So having all of those in my goal statement gets me excited to get up in the morning. It gets me excited to do what I need to do because I know I'm doing it for other people. And if I do a good job of it, I'll get what I need in return, which is financial freedom so I can do things with my children, take them on trips, do things with Danny, and not have to worry about money or time, and being able to design our own day, follow our kids around wherever they go, and create our life around what's happening, not around a job or how much money we have. In my goal statement, I'm not going to read it. I want to get on with this. It does say, though, I'm going to read this last line. Sorry. Come on. Where is it? My life is so blessed because I found my purpose, to become wealthy so we can give more and do more. And so the decisions we make aren't based on how much time or money we have, but what is right. That gets me excited every day to make a phone call or talk to somebody or add a name. And then it goes on. I just love Joe's way of doing it. So check that out. But bottom line, figure it out. Figure it out. It's up to you. We give you plenty of different ways to do your goal statement. If you don't, you're not mastering the basic 5. So that's your responsibility to get the different ways, figure it out, then do it every day, morning and night. Retail. All right, I'm not going to get a lot into this. We have so many divisions. We have so many products. You can build $1 million business on one product. Yes, you can. 10 people buying that one product every month. And if that's how you start, then that's how you start. Don't get analysis paralysis. You don't have to know every division. Eventually you do. Yeah, eventually you're going to have to, but start with one product. Master it. Then add on from that division maybe another product. Learn as you grow, but get a good solid customer base. Now, if you want to focus on health and nutrition, you can have a couple different things. If you've got some sort of a base knowledge where you feel comfortable with that, or if you're in cosmetics and you want to do the whole face as opposed to just custom blends, I mean, obviously that makes sense. But if this is an issue, find one product and then add on to it. When you get that mastered, when you get that division mastered, then learn more. If a good example is health and nutrition, start basic. Start with Mocha Tonics or Daily Essentials. People feel instant results are more likely to respond right away. Reorder. That's good. Energy products are good for that. Daily Essentials is good because people logically know they need it. And then add on. You don't have to worry about adding magnesium and multi-mineral and all these other things that you hear about at all these trainings right away. Those are for when your brain understands it and you can speak naturally about it and encourage people and recommend it as you see fit. Then get certified in TLS. Then learn that division, which will support your health and nutrition. Then maybe go into Nutrimetrics, which will support everything else. And learn about anti-aging, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But layer a base knowledge. Then once you've mastered your division, learn about motives. In the meantime, leverage your partners that know about this stuff. This isn't about us becoming an expert in everything. In fact, you're not duplicatable if you're too good at anything. And you need to remain duplicatable. So you want to be average. We all start as average. The system, and as we grow and as we learn, we will become above average. But you don't want to be an expert because then you're not duplicatable. You don't want to be doing too much because then you're going to scare people away. So I don't want to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week at this because the average person won't want to do that, and you could limit your market of people. I am determined to make a 6-figure income based on working 10 hours a week. Now, granted, because I clearly have a slower learning curve, when you're growing as a person, it might take you longer, but it's relative either way. So then back to the divisions. Learn about motives, leverage people in the meantime, and then learn little by little. Go to a skincare clinic, go to the motives trainings, then learn about web development, then learn about something else. But one thing at a time. Bottom line is we give you plenty of ways to do it. You can do it one-on-one. You can do wine and wellness. You can leverage your partners to do motives and martinis. You can do webinars. You can have TLS classes, trim tea parties. These are all in the trainings. Every speaker that comes talks about a way to do it. You have business partners that will do anything for you to help you get customers, whether it's parties, make phone calls, meet one-on-one. One-on-one consultations is time consuming, but I love doing that for health professionals because I get to know the person and what do they want, and then I can personalize their recommendations and their solution to what they want, not what I want them to have. And that's something that we're going to talk about in a second as well. But the bottom line is there's plenty of ways to do it, and it's your responsibility to, guess what? Figure it out. All right? 10 customers, honest to God, people, if you can't get 10 customers ordering every month, you shouldn't own a business. There's not another business in the world that will support a 6-figure income with 10 hours a week and 10 customers. I love these webinars because I can be tough like that and you don't give me these dirty looks. You can talk about me and I can't see you making faces. But honestly, this is the tough love. Figure it out. If you want to make a 6-figure income, you're going to find 10 customers. I told Danny when I came home from my first webinar, or we called them second looks at the time, I don't care what they're selling. If it's legal, ethical, and moral, and this stuff is legit, it works, I'll find 10 people to buy it. I don't care how long it takes me. I'll find 10 people to buy this stuff every month, and I'll find 2 people to work with me. And if they don't work, I'll find 2 more. I'm going to do what I need to do to get this thing to work because there's too many people making money that I shouldn't be able to as well. So you need to figure it out, and then you need to do it. You need to be generating 125 BV a week. Oh, yeah, and that goes back in personal use. If you're not converting spending into earning, your own, if you're not buying from all your exclusive products first and then the partner stores after, you are not working this business to make a 6-figure income. You have not embraced the shopping annuity. You are not a shopping annuity master member. I'm looking at IBV generation and there's not a lot. Now I know it's a small percentage. I get it. I do. But I'm calling y'all out on it. I've been looking at my reports, and I can look at the shopping annuity master member reports, and I can see who's shopping online and who's using their products, and it's not good. So you might want to look at your shopping annuity master member report and see what I'm seeing, and see what Jim Winkler is seeing, and see what your other leaders are seeing, because I know they look. I know Lynn Mitchke looks, and I know Jim looks through my reports. So we know who's doing what they need to be doing. 125 BV a week. Jamie Greenwood, shout out to you for 670 BV this week. That's awesome. All right, now we're moving into prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring. So I'm going to move along. My notes are so short, and this is taking so long. I can't believe I talk so much. All right, number 1, talk versus listen, and jumping on them versus courting them. All right, let's do the jumping on them versus courting them first. When I started this, I jumped on everyone. I was on a mission, so I was very direct. I was very, I don't want to use the word encouraging. I guess I was pushy. But I wasn't pushing people to do this. I was pushing people to listen to me. I was so excited about this new concept. It drove me crazy when people didn't even want to hear about it. I can see you crawling. Oh, did you guys see Danny's head? Anyway, at the trainings, Jim Winkler would say, when you're dating somebody, you don't just jump on them the first night, do you? You get to know them a little bit. I was like, well, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Otherwise, Danny and I wouldn't be married. But when you're prospecting people, really, you do have to be more respectful than that. And again, here's this personal growth thing. Just like everything else I was talking about, goals, retailing, all of these things, you're going to change. What works for you now, how you fit in your audios, your attitude and knowledge now, may be different down the line as your life changes. How you retail now could change. You might love doing those parties and get burnt out on them, and then you're just going to do one-on-ones. You might be doing one-on-one consulting and saying, this is wasting too much time. I'm doing the home presentations. So you will develop as a person, you will develop as a leader, and as you do, how you do things is going to change. But right now, you just have to do it. Figure it out and just do it. So back to the whole prospecting. I did jump on people versus courting them. My thought was is if I I'm not going to sit and try to get to know someone forever before I ask them to look at my business plan. I just was very direct with it. I've evolved a little bit, and now I've learned how to do a little bit of both based on the person. And that's kind of when you know you've evolved, when you're listening. And that's where the talk versus listen comes in. In the beginning, too, I was so excited and ambitious about showing them what we had and showing them how it worked, because it was so different. 10 hours a week, 10 customers, 6-figure income. You got to see this. And I wasn't listening to them. I was just like, blah, 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 blah. Even like Dennis Frank said, when JR showed him, he never looked up. It's like he was showing himself the plan. He was just looking at his little legal paper while he was talking to Dennis, because he was so excited about it. He just wanted Dennis to know about it. And that's how we all are when we start, just like JR was when he started. He's evolved. We all do. That's okay. Get out and do it. So another couple different ways of prospecting. So when I say talk versus listen, when you're out and about, just listen to what people are saying. I personally don't bring the business up in person. I'll listen to people, and if I hear someone that sounds like a good qualified candidate, I will say to them, listen, I overheard you talking, or based on what we were talking about or whatever, I got to go. I don't really have time to talk about this now, but I'd like to call you. Do you have a card? I want to ask you something. And people will give up their cards. Trust me. They love being asked for their card. Get it? Days later, a week later, whatever you think is appropriate. Use your intuition. Trust your intuition. Trust your gut. Call them back and say, hey, listen, it was bad, inappropriate at the time, or I didn't have the time to bring it up, but I own a couple businesses, and I'm not going to get into scripts right now. And then call them later and invite them to coffee and say, let's get together, let's do some networking. I'd like to learn more about what you do. I'd like to tell you about what I do, see if we can help each other out. But listen, more than talking. If somebody says, what do you do? Plant a seed. Don't go, well, I own an unfranchised, and all you need is 10 customers, 10 hours a week, one on the left, one on the right, and you're going to make $2,500 or $3,600 in a week in 2 to 3 years. Blah. All I say is I own an internet franchise. If somebody asks more questions, great. If they don't, I don't offer more information. I just start learning more about them. So I also like, which kind of goes in what I'm saying here, in phone calls. I don't like asking for appointments in person. If I'm getting a haircut or nails done or whatever, and I think this person is good, I will not bring it up when I'm in that chair. I will call them later and go, oh gosh, I don't even know why I didn't think of this when you were cutting my hair, but I own an internet franchise, or I have a cosmetic line, or but I don't do it there because it can get awkward. I can't pull out my calendar and book the appointment. If I'm going to talk about it, I'm booking an appointment. My whole point in ever bringing this business up is to get an appointment. So I just wait until I've got my calendar in front of me, very professional, here's what I'm doing. But that's just my way. If you can talk about this comfortably and pull out your phone and book an appointment and say, well, you know what? I don't want to talk about it now. Let's get together for coffee. Do it. But I want you to keep track and make sure that those appointments stick. Because appointments booked in person like that, people feel a little bit more pressure, and a lot of times they don't keep those appointments. So be aware of how effective your style is. But again, you're going to change. Your style will change as you develop yourself, and as you develop yourself as a leader, and as you learn things and go through things. So that's the prospecting part, showing the plan. Oh my gosh, in the beginning, JR always used to say, show it all or don't show anything. And then other people would say, don't show the whole thing because it's too much information and you'll scare them away. Do whatever you feel is comfortable. Trust your intuition, but it's all about what are they ready to receive. And the only way you're going to know what they're ready to receive is by asking them. Start showing the plan. You start with the website. You start with showing them shop.com and how we convert our spending into earning, and how we've got this great tracking mechanism that tracks all your spending. We're not asking you to spend any money you're not already spending. We're not making money off of you. The retailers' profit margins are what pay you. They're what pay us. All those important things. That's where you start. You get them in the system. You get them to download ShopBuddy. Next up is talking about the company, that whole intro, how we also have exclusive products. We're a product broker. We'll be in business forever. We're always in front of the trends. We're not limited to one market, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. When you start talking about the business, and you've got to be looking at them while you're talking. Are you engaged? Are you getting this? Yeah, ask them questions. Look them in the eye. Are they glazing over? Are they looking around? Are they scowling? Do they look confused? Be aware. Be aware of what they're doing, because that's what's going to tell you how much you tell them and how far you go. when it comes to what is the plan, it's not the marketing plan. It's not the 5 steps. That's how we make the money. The plan is 2 to 3 years to a residual income versus 45 years to end up in the bottom 95%. That's the plan. If somebody doesn't get that, if somebody doesn't get intrigued or excited about the potential of earning a 6-figure residual income, and I always tell people it takes 5 years, versus working for someone else, trading your time for money, and the odds say you're going to end up in the bottom 95%, there's no point in going through the compensation plan. Because even if that compensation plan gets them excited, they're looking at it as a get rich quick. They don't get the residual income. And you're not going to get a good return on your time invested. So is showing the marketing plan important? Yeah, but when they're ready, when they're receptive. Now, if I'm sitting with somebody and I'm running out of time and they go, oh, no, I want to see this marketing plan, I'll show it to them. Absolutely. But if they're looking glazed over, or if I feel like time's running out, no, I'm not showing them that plan. I'm going to book a follow-up to show the plan, or I'm going to get them to a UBP to lend credibility to what they've already seen, to hear it again. And then I'll give them some homework. I'll send them a video on residual income or Ryan Stack's summary. Feed them until I can meet with them again. So that's the key to showing the plan. There's not a right way. There's not a wrong way. It's not what you're showing them. Well, it kind of is. The key is the website and shopping annuity, product, broker, 45 versus 2 to 3 year plan. If they ask how this isn't a pyramid, pull out the horizontal versus vertical. I like to get that in there too. But they will tell you without words how to proceed and what they want to know. And then the recruiting part. Now, once you've prospected them, show the plan, and you've determined that they're worth your time invested, you're going to start recruiting. Dennis Franks has a different way than JR. JR is about the trial run. Dennis Franks is if they're interested, get them in the game, because if they've got skin in the game, they're more likely to do what they need to do. I personally go with that philosophy as well. But JR is the owner of the company, so clearly trial runs work as well, and there's a lot of people that do it. Again, this is going to be dependent on the person, but I do tell people, if I'm going to do a trial run with you, you need to do a lot of work before you're in. You need to follow my lead, and the minute you stop following my lead, the minute that trial run is over. So you've got to have some standards and expectations if you're going to be doing trial running. Tickets versus no tickets. We have to tell them and explain to them in this recruiting process that attendance at the events is what's going to build their business. Because if they do nothing else, that will develop them to a point of taking action. The system will get them to do more than you ever could. You are going to be badgering them. You're going to be bugging them. Well, that's what they'll think. Even though you're encouraging them because you want them to be successful. It's the system that will really get them to do what they need to do. So it needs to be very clear. But if they don't buy tickets, they don't buy tickets. Your job is to explain what they need to do. It's their job to do it. Just like I'm telling you what you need to do. I'm giving you a million ways to do this stuff. Now it's your job to do it. I'm just telling you many different ways to do it and that you need to figure it out. That's your responsibility. Or some people say, if they're not going to buy tickets, they're not going to be in. Let them in. People might want to be big retailers. You're getting paid on that BV. They're getting retail profit and they're getting their products at wholesale. If they're willing to do their minimums and they're going to be generating a bunch of BV, heck yeah, I'll take them. I don't need everybody to be a go now. But here's the other thing. I do tell them, if you ever want to make money, the way to do it and the way you're going to get my time to do anything is to buy a ticket and to start participating. My time goes to the people that are showing up. And you just have to be very clear about that. And you guys know that. But follow their lead as an owner as well. And always invite them to stuff. Even my retail people, I might say, listen, I know you never made any promises about participating or wanting to recruit or anything like that. But we've got a great trainer coming in. There's some product trainings you might want to attend. You might want to jump in just to get updated, know what you're sitting on, because you've got a bunch of BV flowing up one side. But it's up to you. Call me if you want a ticket. But you have to make that invitation and you have to ask. You need to follow their lead, but you also need to stay in touch with them. And be respectful of their timing. Be respectful of what people want. Not everybody wants what you want. Following up. All right. basically, once they're in the system, you need to spend a good 3 hours explaining what actions are required. I kind of just talked about this to make the money. You have to make sure that they understand, and you guys need to understand that attending and participating in the events is what's going to develop you into the person that's going to take the action required to be an above average person and in that top 1% of income earners in our country. And isn't that what you want? And then to have that time freedom? Well, it doesn't come for nothing. It really comes with personal development, and the attitude, knowledge, the books we're reading, and everything else will get you to take the action you need to take. The more action you need to take, the better person you become, the better leader you become, and the more money you make. The more value you add to society, the more the universe will reward you financially. Very excited. Just going to throw this little shout out to Cassie, Danny, Jaden, and Nikki for their home presentations. You guys were awesome, and everybody was like, well, how did I do? Did I say the right things? So I could have said more. I didn't say whatever. You guys, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And you all were so confident, and so you had such great posture. That's what the guests believe in. They don't or buy into. They don't know what everybody else is. They have nothing to compare to. But when you're confident and you're excited and you're like, this is it, man. This is what's going to set me free. I am done with that 9-to-5 grind. I am done with that 45-year plan. Whatever you're saying, all those other things, they're going to hear again at the UBP. They're going to hear again when you go through the flip chart, when you do the follow-up. So you guys are doing great. But doesn't it lend to that as you do more, you're more confident and you become more? And then you're more likely to do more and attract more? It's a process, but the process all starts with going to UBPs, going to trainings, going to seminars, and getting to Miami and Greensboro. You've got to be in the game, and then you've got to be doing what you need to do. If you're doing that, if you're impressing upon all of your new owners that that's the main requirement, that's what I just told this friend of mine that is going to be registering next week. I said, you know what? All you have to do is attend stuff. Everything else will fall in place. And if you attend, if you show up, if you buy tickets and sell tickets, if that's all you do, you will learn how to do the rest. And in the meantime, I'll work with you. I'll show the plan for you. I'll do shows for you. And eventually you'll want to do it on your own. Takes the pressure off. And this is where you don't have to worry. Somebody said to me, maybe I thought it. No, somebody said it. I just can't remember who. Did I write it down? Don't worry about if you're equipped, capable, or ready to lead a team. Don't let Danny Ernst, congrats, sponsored 3 people. Don't worry about if you can handle that. Don't worry about if you can follow up with them. If they're going to the trainings, you're following up with them. Getting them plugged in takes the pressure off of us. This isn't about us teaching everybody everything, being the expert, doing it all. This is about us getting our people to the next event. That takes the pressure off. And then in the meantime, you tell them what you do know. You reassure them that we've got a great team, that you've got a team of people that has your financial interest in their best interest. And then you will start leading them. If you're showing up and doing what you need to do, you are a leader. The system will develop you. The system will develop your team. The system will develop your leaders. If they're not showing up, don't worry about them. Just keep inviting them. Well, that's my coring. I hope something I said meant something to you. Do what you can until you can do more. Do what feels comfortable to you. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit. But until you grow into the next level of action or participation. But do something. You must read your goals daily. You must read daily. You must listen to an audio daily. You must have those goals written out so you can read them. Number 2, you must have 10 customers purchasing every month. You must be generating 125 BV a week. You guys, this is not a lot. You must be prospecting, adding 2 every day, calling 1 every day, booking those plans. You should be booking 2 plans so you can at least show 1 per week. You want to build faster, do more. That's not a lot to expose this business to. If I can keep doing it after 17 years, honestly, I know a lot of you have not been through your names list. Don't even. All right? Give me your names. Please. Please. I do ask you to give me your names. I'll recruit them for you if you're showing up. And I'll help you with all that, prospecting, recruiting, sponsoring, but honestly, you all can do it on your own. I've seen leaders emerge in the past week that gives me butterflies. Not because, so I don't have to do it. I know when I said I have a sense of freedom, it doesn't mean so I don't have to do it because I love doing it, but it's because I'm seeing leaders. It's like my little birdies jumping out of the nest, my kids leaving. I'm becoming an empty nester all over again. It's liberating. So anyway, and then following up and following through. It's all about the system. I love you all. I hope something here made sense. We'll talk about scheduling another time. Maybe I'll do another recording. Maybe this is the best way to do it. But I'm going to figure out how to record this. No, I am recording it. Never mind. That's my webinar later. Oh my gosh, you guys, I've been doing so much technology stuff. I can't remember what I've done and haven't done. Love you. See you later. Well, my wonderful Team 212, honestly, you guys, we are growing so fast. We are going to give Kay and Joe a freaking run for their money. Let's do it.